All right, we continue our tour of the Sactown Sports Hall of Fame, not what it's called, Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame. And yesterday we had Nick Johnson on.
Yes.
We brought him in saying, hey, your Uncle Larry Boa, is in. So is this going to be a little easier around Christmas time, because you can't talk all that garbage. Well, Our next guest.
How about this?
Very unique, at least for me here, because, well, first off, now he can talk all the trash he wants because his brother and son.
It's a family affair.
Right. So, now he's long overdue.
Yeah.
It's also, this is, I believe, a first. I've been doing this now a long time. I think this is the first time I've ever had a guest on that chaperoned a field trip for me in junior high. Yeah.
I wonder how he would explain the story.
We'll welcome in right now, Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame elect and all-time great, Mr. Leon Lee. Mr. Lee, it's Dave. It's Jason. Good morning.
Dave and Jason, good morning, and thank you so much for having me on.
This is, like I said, I grew up with your son, as you know, and with you, and it's been very interesting, not just following you, but over the years, of course, we all followed Derek with so much pride and everything he did, not just the numbers he put up, but how he carried himself. And now it's his turn and our turn to honor you as long overdue, like we said. You finally get your place in the Hall of Fame. Well,
it's number one, it's a great honor. Number two, I think the bigger honor, and I know Jason mentioned something from the past, but Dave, you come in really big in our past. I mean, your whole family, your mother, sister, father, we were like family back in the day. And you not only grew up with Derek, it was almost like, there in Carmichael area where we grew up, actually, not and call you Carmichael Dave, but those are some of the best memories in history when the kids are growing up and you were at the house, and it was wonderful. It's some great memories, and I'm just so honored to be on the radio with you and Jason.
Well, I got to ask you then, how was Dave as a kid?
Oh, no.
I mean, we know Dave as an adult. Sometimes it feels like he hasn't quite grown up. So how was he as a kid?
Well, Dave was kind of, our family, and, Derek, I used to always tease him. He was a good athlete, but he was kind of nerdish. And hanging out with Dave, it was sort of like, well, two of a kind hang together, they're both kind of nerdy,
Yes.
You know what I mean? Too nice, never get in trouble. As a parent, you're going like, come on, you guys, sometimes, make some kind of trouble sometimes. and I lost track with Dave, and I'll start hearing all this stuff about Carmichael Dave. Carmichael Dave, who in the heck is that? And I've been away in Japan for a long time and come back and I go, oh my God, that's Dave Wegman. Oh my goodness.
Well, I should tell you, since we're having kind of a retrospective here, my mom and dad still follow you, and as you said before, you and Pam and my mom and dad and the whole families were so close. And my mom, first thing when I said you were coming on, said, please tell that man I love him and I miss him. And she does, and she does. And we just thought the world of each other. And for those listening right now that are hearing us catch up, I'll now apply this in a broad sense. It's about, I very much, this is the first time in my life, it's weird for me to hear, I got to call him Mr. Lee. Sorry, I can't do it. It's the first time I've ever.
My nickname.
He's never called me Dave ever.
Yeah.
This is the first, and it's weird to me to hear him call me Dave, because growing up with him, I was David. I was always David. Right. That's just how the family and the families were very close. But one of the things that you taught me, and you really kind of drove in, you and Pam, to your kids and to me and my sister, was just the way you carry yourself, the way you have pride for the region, and the way that you act when no one is looking. I remember you saying that all the time. It's the way you act when no one's looking. And
absolutely,
I think that carries on with you, and obviously carried on with your son, who we love so much.
Yeah, it was. That's one thing I was proud of, even all the years Derek played in the big leagues. Whenever I went to see him, the manager of the clubs, whether it's Torborg or McKeon or Leland, or the first thing they always said was about his character, how great a kid he is and how he carries himself. And I said, for a parent, those are the things you really want to hear. The baseball part of it is exciting, but it's nothing like character and carrying yourself and being responsible. And that's all you ask of, especially ball players, to be good characters.
I'm thinking about that for you in your career as a player. You're doing your thing, trying to make your own career, and and do your best. When it's your child, you have a lot of years to shape and form them. How about when you were managing? Could you find that you could improve people's character? Did you feel like you had that influence on some of your players?
I did, even my coaching career, with Chicago, and I went back to Japan and managed. And I think that's one of the reasons why the players really accepted me, even though I carried myself that way in the years that I played. But as a manager, it really wasn't about results. It was always about the process and how 9 players or 20 players, all kind of put all their efforts, because the old saying is the chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So I just individualized everybody and built their own character as much as possible and say, hey, be yourself out there and do your training. Everywhere you go, you have your training, whether it's law enforcement, military, whatever. And if you're in a uniform, boy, you kind of owe it to yourself to be a strong link in that chain. And when the players buy in, it really works, because you're saying whether we win or lose, it's just really the entertaining part and how you carried yourself and how you competed on the field of battle. And no matter where you go, that works. I mean, Dusty was great at it. I think Jimmy Leland as manager is why he's going into the Hall of Fame. You're not really managing a game; you're managing people. And I think it works. I think in life it works, and that's why Derek and the kids, we're always good because we just talked about how he handles situations. And they've all done very well with it. Ray has done great, and Brian, and Derek was the older brother, but and he would tease him a lot. But if he told you he was going to be somewhere at 10 o'clock, he was there. It was important.
Leon Lee joining us, Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame inductee. I might get the timing right, Mr. Lee, but I want to say it was when we were in 7th grade, might have been 8th grade. You went overseas to work on Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck.
Yes.
And I very specifically remember that, you were gone a lot, and at a real, while your kids were growing up, you were very busy and you were gone. Yeah. But when you were home, you were home. And I know you kept in touch, obviously, when you were on the road, but when you were at home, you were there. You were everywhere. You were incredibly involved. And did that example you set make it a little bit easier when you knew your son was going into that life, that baseball life, that he'd be able to take that and pass it on as he has to his family?
Absolutely. And Jason, I'm glad you brought that up because I was always conscious of being gone. And it bothered me because the kids grew up really fast. But yeah, you're right. When I was home, and such a coincidence because when Brian was the youngest, my youngest son was young, and he sent me a letter one time. He goes, "Pop, I don't know where you are, but wherever you are, I still love you." And that those type of things really mean a lot. And coincidentally, when I come home and he was playing in a recreation basketball league, when one of his teammates was Matt Barnes, and growing up together. Now here we are going into the Hall of Fame together. There are no coincidences. I think things happen for a reason. But we followed Matt his whole career, and he was kind of part of the family. And so when I was home, you're absolutely right. I was home. That was like some of the best times of my life, seeing the kids grow up and what they grew up into. So that's, to me, it's just what it's all about. I know it sounds a little mushy, but
no,
that's
worked.
How we were raised.
Yeah. I'd be curious too, from your perspective, Leon, about there's something, Dave's lived here his whole life. I've been here so long now. And we see other athletes, if we're taking the Kings, for example, people come in reluctantly to Sacramento, and before long their careers are over and they still live in Sacramento. What is it about this area for you that has been so appealing?
It's beyond family. It's friends. I don't think, other than the ones that have passed away, it's almost like in Sacramento, there's a magnet. It's not a small town, but it's kind of a small town mentality. The weather's milder, people are milder, travel is milder. Home is home. My parents always considered like, there's just no way when the season is over. I enjoy playing and being away from home, but the key or the big part of the year was actually coming home. And I could never picture myself going anywhere else. And what I was saying is friends are for life here in Sacramento. It's not a transient town. Seems like there's a lot of people that move here. One of my best buddies in life, Taylor Duncan, who passed, was a first-round draft pick with Atlanta, came in from Memphis, and we got to be friends at 7, and we were friends for life. Just seems to be that way. I don't know why. Dave Wegland, my God, who would be a lifelong friend with him? I mean, but the family, it was just stuck. I mean, it just never changes. You know, you may not see each other for a while, but when you come home, it's like, boom, your extended family, friends, and everybody are always there. And that just became such a huge, huge part of my life.
Well, when we were going to do this and have, you know, everybody entering the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame, and you mentioned Matt, you know, Del Campo and all that is special, but I told Jason this is going to be a special interview for me for sure, you know, because you were always larger than life to me growing up, but you and Pam, and as you said, Ray and Brian and Derek always treated us like family. So I will say, yes, for Mark Martella, for Brian Belcastro, for Sean Cotton, for Matt Myers, for Shane Sullivan, for Kevin Lyman, and all the rest of them that I'm forgetting that you opened your door to. We're so proud of you, and thank you so much, really, Mr. Lee, for the influence and the mentorship and the effect you had on all of us and so many more. It means so much. And every time I talk to you, you know, I have a 16 and 15-year-old at home, but I'm wow, 12 years old again when I talk to you each and every time.
That means so much, Dave. I mean, it's like you know, as you get older, you cry. You know, I'll cry over a Nickelodeon movie, but hearing that, you just can't even imagine how much that means to me. That's special, and I want you to give when you talk to him, because I still keep up with Matt Myers and Sean Cotton's out of the country, and you know, the friends, you know, Dwayne Hayes and Mark Martella. Yep. Mark and Derek has been lifelong friends. It looks like, you know, Derek is 6'5" and Mark is 5'2".
With the puka shell necklace still, I always see him.
Oh my God, just take a picture and frame it. You know, these are lifelong friends. You can make a movie out of it. But yeah, Dave, that and Jason, that just brings up those things that are the most special to you. You know, it's just the family and friends, and that's what it's all about. And going into the hall, you know, you mentioned Nick Johnson. I coached Nick Johnson in American Legion ball post 61. The next thing you know, he's the first baseman for the Yankees playing in the World Series against my son with the Marlins in 2003. And I'm going like, oh my God, you know, 2 Sacramento kids, you know, we all grew up together, and there's just an intertwined relationship there that lasts for life, you know. And I think that's what makes this honor going in with Derek and my brother so special. You know, just, you know, it's not really about me and my career. I know it kind of validates it, because people thought Japan baseball was all, you know, small people and short fences. And these last World Baseball Classics has shown that, you know, Japan is on the map. You know, they can play. And it wasn't easy playing in Japan for 10 years. It wasn't easy at all, because, you know, they try to keep the balance. The strike zones are different. You know, we never complained, we just competed. But I always thought, if all was not trying to be balanced out, one of the umpires told me our strike zone's bigger, because if they didn't make it bigger, we'd hit 80% of the time, we'd hit home runs. And I said, wow, what an honor, but that's impossible. And I always thought, man, I could have hit at least 10 home runs more a year to have added on. But it wasn't easy, because, you know, you stand out, and the pitchers were, you know, like I always got like Barry Bonds the year when they wouldn't throw to him. And I said, we were like that constantly. And we kind of overcame in a way, you know, and it was fun. It was a great experience in life. So it's really validation. And I'm being on this radio show with you guys. I could tell all the people that listen to this station that this is special. I mean, it's just, you know, say, yeah, just Sacramento. It's not like the Major League Hall of Fame, but it is to me. It's huge. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And we're also proud of you. Please give my love, our love, to Pam and the rest of the family, the kids who aren't kids anymore. We're so proud of you, and thank you for everything, Mr. Lee. It's so well deserved.
My pleasure, David.
That's more like it. Take care and congratulations. We'll see you soon.
Love you guys all. Appreciate it.
Love you too, sir. Bye-bye. That's
awesome.
That's really cool.
Nerd.
We're nerds.
He called you a nerd.
Talking about nerds. Playing sports nerds.
He called his own son a nerd too.
You know, well-known fact, Derek had a scholarship waiting for him from Dean Smith at North Carolina to go play basketball. I was like, wait, what? Like, he was good. I didn't think he was North Carolina good, but
wow.
Yeah, my goodness gracious. All right, we'll take a break. That was Leon Lee.
That was fantastic.
That was special. When we come back, who's hot, who's not? We'll do that next.